I made millions without y'all. I made millions in spite of y'all. I don't want to be on y'all team. I don't need to be on y'all good side. I'm on the side of the truth. The day the audience stop rocking with me, the day I go broke. The day the audience stop rocking with me, the day I sell this house, I sell everything I own. I don't want to be on y'all team. So I'd rather be on the side of telling the audience the truth than ever be on the, at least you gave the story that whatever is cool with. I'm going to tell you exactly what May said. And by the way, we gonna pause this for a second. 6ix9ine posted some shit? Oh, a giveaway. Come on. We'll talk about that too. 6ix9ine doing giveaways. I will figure this out. Let me tell you what Mace said to me. This was after he did $1 million worth of game. I never respond to it. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I will respond now. Because let me tell you this, Mace. I'm very highly educated. I don't need you, a record label, a lawyer, or anybody to tell me anything about any contract. I listen to y'all when I interview y'all. But when I got the paperwork, I don't need y'all to interpret what I'm seeing because I know what I'm seeing. So, let me see if I can find Mace's account. Okay, I think this is it. This is what Mace said. August 12th. Mace, I got the contracts, brother. I don't care about you, Columbia, nobody else in the mix. I don't even care about Fivio Foreign, even though I like him. I'm only here to tell the truth. And I'm going to always rest my head on that. You know why? Because if the audience fucks with me, they're going to respect. Even if that's why I try to clear myself up with this Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lane shit. Because I don't want no nigga think I'm no puppet for no nigga. I fuck with Tory. But never think that Tory could ever make me go on the side of lying. That's not in my character. And in reality, that's why I talk that shit to these rappers. Y'all bag not big enough to make Akademiks be a pawn for you, nigga. I seen all y'all niggas go broke. Why the fuck would destroy his credibility in his career to try to be a pawn for you? Never. I say that, and I say it unequivocally, nigga. I would never do that. And anytime y'all try to do that, I will step on y'all consistently. I don't care who it is. I don't give a fuck about no Nicki Minaj and nothing like that. When I get at Nicki, it's because her stans think that. Ain't no Atlantic fucking payroll that do what I do, nigga. I do what I do because I only got this platform because I told the people the fucking truth. And the moment I stop telling them the truth, bro, I'm going to be out of here. There's going to be a new nigga who's going to be willing to tell the truth. But you ain't never hear no nigga run behind me and be like, oh, Ak lied about this because he got money getting that. No, I tell the truth, nigga. Tell the truth. So, Mace hit me. Mace was clearly going on a propaganda campaign. By the way, I got nothing against Mace. But Mace, I got the contract. I'm about to put it on the screen. I got the contract you signed. We're finna put it on the screen. And I'm going to break it down. I don't care what you say or what nobody say. Fivio Foreign, you, your lawyer, I could read. My audience could read. We're going to put it on the fucking screen. And I don't owe no type of biasness to you, Fivio Foreign, or nobody else. We're going to break it down. Because most of y'all try to play the media. But I keep trying to tell everybody, Ak will never be played by y'all. Y'all don't pay enough. Y'all don't have enough to try to get me to try to play me. So anyway, Mace hit me. This is August 2nd. He said, Ak, stop trying to shift the narrative. The Columbia execs shared the truth. So, I don't want to play a bunch of $1 million worth of game, but let's establish what was basically said. Fivio said he signed for $5,000. That's a fact. Later, a $1.5 million deal came into the picture. That did not come from Mace. That came from Columbia. Mace is trying to do the okie doke and trying to act like, oh yeah, the $5,000 I signed you was for the precursor to the 1.5. Now let me be very honest. I don't think Fivio Foreign would have got signed for $1.5 million without Mace. However, if he didn't sign to Mace, he wouldn't have gotten signed for $5,000 either. I think Fivio could have at least got $900,000, maybe $1 million without Mace. He signed to Mace, and Mace's promise should have been, I'm going to get you a bigger bag than you could ever get. You had one song. Big Drip, I fell in love with that. All that shit. May should have said, sign to me for this. Whatever you thought you were going to get from a label, I'm going to get you twice as much. Right? Okay, say at that point, Fivio's like, damn, I can't even see myself getting $1 million. May's going to be like, nigga, we going to get 2. Or you say, yo, I can't see myself getting $500,000. Be like, yo, bro, I'm going to get you $1.5 million. Damn, that's crazy. And we're going to get back to this Carl Crawford shit. Because these days, I like to talk to artists, but here's what I'm going to say to all y'all artists. Send me your contracts. If you're not down to talk to me with your contracts, I don't want to talk to you at all. Because I got y'all shit. When I got y'all shit, I'm going to put it up on the screen. When I'll put your shit up on the screen, there's no line about it no more. So this is Fivio Foreign's contract right here. Okay? This is it. It was done July 2nd, 2018. There's some redacted portions, but I'm going to read through all this, and we're going to go through all this bitch. Okay? Dear Maxie Riles. Who the fuck is Maxie Riles? I got to see. Probably somebody who represents him. The following, when signed by all parties, shall set forth materials, blah, 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 with exclusive, blah, blah, agreement between Fivio Foreign and Maxie Riles. Let me figure out who's Maxie Riles. I got to Google this. Bro, yo, for Mace and anybody else, Diddy, all y'all niggas, bro, the days when niggas couldn't read and Google is like years gone, okay? Maxie Riles. Bro, we're not about to sit here and fucking just like, okay, so Maxie Riles, look, oh, that's, Maxie, is Maxie Riles? Oh, he's Fivio Foreign. So that's Fivio Foreign. So Maxie Riles, look, make sure I spell it out for y'all. Maxie Riles, Fivio Foreign. Cool. So, dear Maxie Riles, so that's his contract, right? Whatever. Between Fivio Foreign, also known as Mr. Maxie Riles, sometimes artist, blah, blah, okay, and us sometimes company. So this is the contract between Mace and Fivio Foreign. Don't think about Columbia. Don't think about nobody else. I'm going to read. This is a recording contract, but really this is a production. This is really a production deal. So you're getting signed to a production company. Some people might call this a record deal, just because they're probably going to get, quote unquote, a bag. But in this bag, he gets $5,000. Okay, we're going to read it through. Wherein the artist shall provide the company. The company is going to be Mace's company. Exclusive recording and other services granted to the company, blah, 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 blah. You will be referred to the as the artist. It include whatever, you're furnished, whatever. I'm trying to skip through some of this stuff. Again, I'm not trying to be a legal attorney and try to be too complicated terms, blah, blah. The term of this contract shall commence until, listen, the date of 12 months after the delivery to the company, which is Mace's team or Mace's label, and the commercial release of minimum 5 separate options. Do y'all want me to explain this? So Mace has signed him. This is what's written. There needs to be 5 albums. And when I say options, mixtapes don't usually count as options. 5 options, 5 albums. Hold on, of 12 months each, which means they don't, if you drop an album within 12 months, if you drop 2 albums within 12 months, they could only say, oh, only one counts. You know why? It needs to be consecutive options of 12 months, which means is 5 times 12, which is 60 months. 60 months is 5 years. Keep in mind, this was signed in 2018. Let's say started then. It would go till 2023. Also, it goes longer than 2023 because if Fivio Foreign hasn't dropped 5, keep in mind, 5 albums since 2018, he has to keep dropping. So remember that. It could go to 2027 if it takes him to drop 5 projects then. Okay. We're going to keep reading. Separate consecutive options of 12 months, blah, blah, whatever. It is being understood for convenience at the initial period, whatever, sometimes might refer to as contract period, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know what all of this means. I don't want to bore y'all with it. I want to get y'all the real shit, the meat and the bones of the shit, meat and potatoes. During each contract period, okay, so each contract period, which should be 5 of those, artists shall record for company master recordings embodying artist performances, minimum recording commitment, sufficient to 1 album. They're going to tell what 1 album is later. 1 album of customary playing time. B, okay, so you got to record an album. We're going to figure out how long they consider an album. Then you got to appear for photo shoots, meetings, showcases, and other promotional activities. C, you got to perform such other services reasonably requested by the company. Each album hereunder shall contain at least, okay, here we go, 10 masters technically. And by the way, this is why Meg Thee Stallion, that's why I didn't criticize her last release. Meg is playing the game. So basically, Fivio has to drop 5 different projects with at least 10 songs. I know what you're probably thinking. Well, what if he drops 1 album with 30 songs? Does it count for 3 albums? No. It has to be separate projects. So if you drop 30 songs on 1 album, that only counts for 1 album. Granted, you could have took 10 songs, put it to the 2nd album, 10 songs, put it to the 3rd album, and if it's all approved, it would be 3 albums, but they're saying minimum, it has to be 10 albums. Great, cool. Album activities, okay. Here we go, we're going to keep going. Hopefully I can see this. Company on a distribution agreement, and it will be delivered to company on or before, here we go, 120 days after the commencement of the applicable period. So 120 days, if you think about 30 days a month, 30 into 12, that would be 4 months. So essentially, in 4 months, he will deliver his first album after he signed here. So he should be delivering his first album before the end of 2018, if that's the execution date, okay? Cool. Or, well, there's a commencement period too. Recording costs. Okay, this is important too. Company will pay all recording costs in connection with master recordings made under this agreement, not in excess of an approved budget designated solely by the company. Okay, let me just tell you this right now. I've seen a bunch of contracts. This is why, I've dedicated so much of my life to figuring out what I need to figure out, to be educated, and what I need to be educated about, to talk to you about this, because a lot of this shit is bullshit. Let me tell you what this means. Company, when you see company, think about Mace. Mace will pay all recording costs, which means if he goes to a studio, Mace will pay for it, especially if he's making music that will be on a project that Mace will get, because it says all master recordings made under this agreement. However, this is where they give themselves a bailout, not in excess of an approved budget designated solely by the company. What does this mean? Say Fivio Foreign wants to go to Quad every night. Quad might be charging, I don't know, $3,000-$4,000 for the night. You want to have it for 6 hours, $3,000. It's a big studio. It's marquee. It's in New York City. $3,000. Say you need to do your album. It's going to take, I don't know, say 90 days. Let's just say you're in the studio every night. 90 times 3. You could do the math. 90 times 3 is going to be 270. So it would be basically $270,000. That would be just in recording costs, right? Is that right? 3,000 a day, 90 days. Yeah. 270,000, right? Now here's the thing. That might not sound like a lot, especially if you know if an artist is going to make a lot of money, right? However, keep in mind, that's not the only bill you have to pay. You got to pay for the studio time. You got to pay to clear the beat. You got to pay for features. You got to pay for promotion. You got to pay a lot of money to get this shit going on. So if you're going to pay only $250,000 just for studio time, then you probably got to pay $500,000, which is $500,000 for like the features, right? Say Kanye gave him the shit for free, right? Because he had Kanye, right? Cool. You had to clear some beats and pay some advances. Cool. Let's say that's another $250,000, $300,000. You're already at $1 million. Clearly at $1 million before you ever even drop the project, right? You didn't get to market and promo. You didn't get to other fees I got to go on. The point what I'm trying to say is this. This is Mace having to foot this bill. This is why the 5,000 is going to come into consideration, because this deal really is contingent on Mace getting you a bigger deal, because Mace don't want to pay that money. Okay? This is how most production deals work. Generation Now, well, Generation Now before they got a JV, because they didn't have money backing. Well, I can't say Cash Money because I can't say Young Money, because Young Money always had backing from Cash Money, which was backing from Universal. I might be talking above some of you people's heads here, but for the people who are in the industry, they'll get it. Here's what I'm trying to say. Mace didn't have nobody backing him for money. Now, Mace ain't broke. Does Mace have $5 million in his bank? Probably. Does Mace want to give $1 million to Fivio to create an album that might not go nowhere? Keep in mind, I always tell people, as an executive, usually 1 out of 20 people will succeed. Are you down? If you have $5 million and you got to spend $1 million on each of them to see if they're going to succeed, would you spend all $5 million knowing that the success ratio is 1 out of 20, or basically 5%, or 5%? Yeah, you wouldn't, right? Okay, so for the people who are understanding me, I'm going to keep trying to speed through this because this is a contract. I hate these, this is not as entertaining as stuff, but I want to let y'all know what's going on. All recording costs. So basically here it says, not in excess of what's approved by the budget by the company, which means Mace makes the budget. So if I'm Mace, right, and say we don't have a deal or I can't get you a deal, say I got $10 million in the bank. Bro, I'm not going to give you a budget over $1 million. I'm probably going to give you a budget of like $300,000. I'm not giving you a budget of $1 million. So basically, what this says is Mace controls the budget. He gets to set the budget, and he gets to set how much cost could be incurred in the budget. Anything over the budget, that's on you or that's on anybody else around you. Mace ain't going to pay for it, right? So you can't sue him like, no, we recorded this album, it took $1 million. In the contract, it said the budget that was approved and designated to y'all was $300,000. So if y'all spend $1 million to make this album, we're not going to pay for the $700,000 in extras. That's the point I'm trying to say. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Advances and royalties. This is going to be important because this is where the 5,000 comes in. Advance, let me give you the breakdown of what an advance is. An advance is basically a loan. I'm going to give you this because we know we're going to get it back, but I'm going to give you up front. Okay, it's just like your car company. They're going to say, yo, your car costs $20,000. We're going to give the car dealership $20,000 because we know by the time you're done paying for this car, you're going to pay us $27,000. All they want is the $27,000. They know they're going to flip that $20,000 that they gave to the dealership to $27,000 by the time you're done paying it in 5 years. For them, it's a good deal. They turn $20,000 into $27,000. They're good. You're looking at it like, well, I took 5 years to pay off my car. Who cares if I paid $27,000? They're looking at it like, cool, we got a lot of money. We just want to make we want to take 20 and make it 27, right? So anyway, labels do that too. So when a label gives you an advance, it's going to come out of the money where you're going to get later. Okay? I'll explain that hopefully shortly. So it says, in consideration of artists and full completions hereof, company, right? So Mace shall pay an artist in pocket advance of $5,000. This is why when Mace is trying to dispute it, Mace, we're not talking about what Atlantic gave. We're talking about what you gave. And what you gave is $5,000. Of course, you had the option to get a bigger label to pay him more, but what you gave, and say you couldn't get him a deal, it was going to be $5,000, which Fivio Foreign is right. That's true. Like, we don't got to keep lying about this shit. It says $5,000. It's written here. It's in the fucking contract. Let's not try to act like it's, nigga, it says right here, $5,000 in receipt and sufficient of what is hereby acknowledged, payable on full execution of this agreement. Usually you have sometimes a signing bonus. This is all encompassing, by the way, which means the signing bonus and the deposit essentially for the first album is $5,000, right? Here we go. Full execution of the agreement in further consideration of your full and complete performance of the terms. They shall pay to artists 50% of the net advances. Hold on. See, this is where you got to get a little complicated. Okay. So they're going to give in pocket $5,000. And it said the receipt and sufficiency of which hereby is acknowledged, payable on full execution of this agreement. Okay, so cool. Once they sign the agreement, he's supposed to get $5,000 instantly. Okay? So $5,000 is supposed to go to him, right? In further consideration of your full and complete performance of the terms hereof, Mace, every time I say company, I'm going to say Mace, shall pay the artist 50% of the net advances. Oh, this is important. This is important. Royalties or receipts actually received by the company from the exploitation of the artist's recordings or other materials concerning artists. Okay, do you want me to explain that? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I know y'all are smart, but I'll explain it even more. So when Mace says no, he got $750,000. No, he got $750,000 because he signed for Columbia for $1.5 million. This term right here tells everything we need to know. You paid him $5,000 to get in your deal. Now you're in a deal with him, and you said, what this is saying, contractually and legally, you're signed to me for $5,000. But if I get you in a bigger deal, any money that comes in the bigger deal, we split 50-50. So Columbia gave $1.5 million, and $750,000 went to Mace. $750,000 went to Fivio. However, remember in the interview, Mace actually said that Fivio had kind of like borrowed $50,000 from him, so he had to pay it back. So when the money came in, $800,000 went to Mace, and then $700,000 went to Fivio. Now, here's the important thing, because this is where Mace is hanging his hat on. You signed him for $5,000. That's a fact. Bro, there's no shame in it. Like, a lot of artists don't get signed for a lot of money. You're a production company. I wouldn't give the credit to Mace to say Mace got him, or Mace is the one who gave him $750,000. That came from Columbia. Granted, I'll give Mace the credit in terms of, I think if Columbia was going to sign him straight up without Mace, maybe he would get $1 million. With Mace, he got 1.5. You get what I mean? So Mace helped him raise the tab, but he would have gotten more money not signing to Mace, right? And just signing to Columbia for $1 million straight up, right? Because remember, he got $750,000 or $700,000 because he owed that nigga money. He got $750,000 overall. In reality, he would have gotten $1 million. He would have got $1 million if he didn't sign to Mace. So he would have gotten $300,000 more if he didn't sign, right? And by the way, this is what adds to artists being, like, you know what I mean, a little salty, because they realize the niggas who are making a lot of money off them, they're not taking life chances. They're not taking penitentiary chances. They're not putting themselves in harm's way. Like, a lot of these niggas, they got to, like, Fivio's man who just got killed. Fivio, I went to go see Fivio when he was recording his album. That nigga had 6ix9ine security, and that's not to diss him, because he should. That nigga had all type of nigga with bulletproof vests, all type of, like, make sure everybody's good, as he should. But that costs a lot of fucking money. You get what I mean? So artists are going to get naturally resentful to be like, yo, bro, I got to do all this. And then this bitch ass nigga that nobody knows, nobody wants to kill him, is getting exactly half of my money. And the only thing they ever did for me was just like, yo, book a couple studio sessions. Yeah, they're going to feel a certain type of way. That's why that's happening. All right, anyway, let me keep reading. From the exploitation of the artist's recording or other materials. So essentially, this whole thing says Mace could sign him to another deal, which Mace brought him into another deal with Columbia for $1.5 million. Okay, cool. And this how the big drip is popping. Okay. In calculating net advances, royalties or receipts, companies should be entitled to deduct all third-party costs, expenses concerning artists, but it's not limited to monies payable to third-party producers. So basically, it says anything that Mace has ever paid out for Fivio Foreign, he could deduct it when all the money comes in, right? So market and promotion, shopping, artist development, manufacturing, like basically they give they give such a laundry list of stuff you could deduct from. It almost makes it impossible for an artist to really get paid any substantial amount of money. Because if I'm the production company, I'm just gonna write all of that off in expenses. Oh yeah, when we went to Las Vegas for like 3 weeks and like I was fucking like 30 bitches and we were staying in the 10,000 a night suite. Oh, we were there to like promote you, so we're gonna just write that down as an expense. You're like, no, nigga, I thought you said like that was for your birthday. No, we were there to promote you, brother. So I write it down in the expenses as we were there to promote my artist. I put it on his bill, but I had all the fun. That's why record labels are a sham. Ain't nobody doing the math right. Okay, cool. Mechanical license, whatever. Look, also here it is. All money is paid directly to artists or reasonably direct actual document pocket blah blah incurred shall constitute advances against the artist's share of the. Basically, they're gonna subtract whatever that nigga owes. Okay, distribution agreement. It is the intention of the parties that Mace will enter into one or more agreements for distribution. Okay. Okay. Essentially, again, this is a shopping deal. So basically, they said Mace had to drop one project of his, and if not, Mace could help him enter into a distribution agreement with someone else for more projects. However, Mace, he signed to Mace. Now, this is where ownership, this is what matters. Artist hereby agrees that all materials created, hold up. Created hereby and blah, blah. Okay. I'm just trying to see who owns it. Okay. All videos. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Will, from the inception of creation, be forever regarded throughout the universe as works made for hire for a company. Sorry, again. Basically what this means is that Mace owns that nigga's masters. Mace said on $1 million worth of game or whatever that he didn't. That's cap. Nigga, I just read it. It says the artist is agreeing that any material created hereby under and all results of proceeds of artist services, which means recording, this and third, remixes, shout-outs, drops, and other services hereunder, including all recordings made or delivered during the term, included but not limited to outtakes, mixes, remixes, other versions thereof, all artwork, okay? Including but not limited to results and proceeds of artist services and other artists hereunder, whatever, will from the inception of creation be regarded throughout the universe as work for hire for the company. Okay. I'm going to try to explain this to y'all. And Mace, I know you're probably watching this somewhere sometime. And I'm going to be fair to you. So I heard your interview. You essentially said you let him sign away his rights to you, that the labels couldn't take his rights, which I understand. However, if we're seeing paperwork of him signing his rights away to you, and you later saying verbally that you were protecting his rights, how about you put up the paperwork of you returning his rights? Because this paperwork only says, yes, a label later on can't own the rights to your music because Mace owned the rights to your music. So show the paperwork that says Mace has given the rights to Fivio's Foreign music back to Fivio Foreign. That's it. You get what I mean? So, because what it says here is that Mace will forever regarded through the universe, anything made by Fivio, it will be seen as work for hire, which means if Big Drip or City of Gods or whatever the case is will be seen as music that was made for work for hire for Mace's label. I heard him talk about this, and he said, nah, he gave it back to Mace, but he got to show paperwork. The paperwork here doesn't say that Mace, that says Fivio Foreign owns this shit. It says Mace owns this shit. I'm going to keep it 100. Co-publishing and co-administration for good and valuable consideration, the receipt and hold on. For good and valuable consideration, the receipt and sufficiency of which is hereby acknowledged. Okay. Artist, blah, blah, assigns, conveys, and sets over to the company a undivided 0% in his interest copyright. Okay, this is good. So Mace owns 0% of the copyright and extensions and all other rights, whatever. Okay, cool. So this is a good thing. So this is where I got to big up Mace for. It's written in the original contract that the copyrights of all the songs and all the work that Fivio does will be owned by Fivio. The company shall have exclusive rights to be the administrator of controlled composition. Well, see, they give you one thing, they take away the other. So basically, they're saying Fivio owns the shit, but they get the right to like be the person who deals with all the administration, which there's going to be administration fee or percentages, which means they're still getting paid. You get me? They just don't own it. Okay. It's not a long contract. I don't want to go through everything. But anyway, this is the end of the contract. I don't want to go through everything. Okay. Anyway, the point is this. Mace, you signed a nigga for $5,000. You did help him get a bigger bag than he would have got without you, which is $1.5 million. I think he would have got $800,000 to $1 million. And he would have got that without you. Truth be told, I think he would have got more money if he didn't sign with you. But you brought the money up to a bigger level in terms of 1.5, even though you get a cut. And what happens with that is that you in turn, in terms of the industry, you make him seem like a bigger artist. Cool. After a project or two, the nigga gonna want to negotiate. You should understand that. He wants you offer certain shit, and like in certain roles. This shit shouldn't even been public. You know what I mean? And by the way, I don't think, unless Fivio was just salty, I don't think Fivio would have mentioned the fact that he got signed for $5,000. Most of these niggas got signed for nothing. Lil Pump got signed for $30,000. Some of your favorite artists got signed for $20,000. A lot of niggas for $10,000. I just want to call their name. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I think they're going through some conversations legally. So it's in Fivio's best interest to kind of expose that nigga, that hopefully that nigga won't go that hard when it comes to legal shit, right? All right. Enough of that, man. Enough of that. Okay, cool. Jesus. Woo! All right. Should I get to the Freddie Gibbs shit? I could. Let me just close these up.